Okay, here we go. My recap for Apple today, May 23rd. No entry on the open, gapped up, zero follow through. Anyone who did chase and got in up here ended up having to trail out their stop just below this level, which led to this big, huge candle there. No follow through really. Well, I mean, it came down, consolidated, had a little bit of follow through down to the 8-period exponential moving average I noted on my previous video, which triggered me into a couple of trades here. First was 155 calls right here on this green over green break. Had a little bit of follow through, but once it came back down, it was time for me to get out. I like to be in a trade once it starts to trend, and I want to see it leaving support behind. I don't want to see it coming back to there. Ultimately, it wasn't necessarily a strong bounce from there, as it did come back down, although it did start to consolidate right there in the range and created a range to the close of the day. The close actually broke back above the initial resistance that was set in here. This resistance also happened to be the support from the previous area. So basically this breakdown level was support, turned into resistance here, resistance, resistance, and now we're back above. So ideally, I'd like to see it hold as support tomorrow and potentially a gap up. Now, why do I say a gap up? Is any kind of selling that was in today's trade and taking place, it looks like it may have been absorbed based on the look of this consolidation and the 8-period exponential moving average right here on the daily time frame, 153.22. Now my second trade, I actually took the same calls, next week's 155s on this candle break right here. It wasn't a green over green break, but I took this as just good enough as an indecision type of candle at a previous low, or inside the previous low. Ended up getting a great fill, great stop loss area. The risk reward is extremely tight, and I will be looking for a move at least up to 154.5 if it doesn't gap open. Excuse me, if it doesn't gap up. If it does gap up, I may take those off and take the profits right away. If it gaps down, I will look at averaging into that position and lowering my cost basis to possibly get out at break even, maybe even for a small gain. The ascending triangle that I did have drawn from my previous video is almost completely broken. It did break above and now came back down below. However, this could potentially be a false breakdown, which also leads me to another position I opened today, which was in some lotto calls, 157.5 weeklies for 9 cents. They were, I don't know why, I was just calling my name, told me to go ahead and keep trying to get into it. So I went ahead, took a small position. If it goes to zero, it goes to zero. Like I said, it's a lottery play. Doesn't have to go up. I would like it to. The plan is for that to be a false breakdown right here. I want to pull up the weekly chart here real quick. Weekly chart still shows a decent amount of strength. We had a very strong green candle push up 2 weeks ago. Last week, even with the huge sell-off on Wednesday, was still higher than the low of that green candle and didn't have any follow-through up until this point, at least, of any kind of follow-through to the downside. So still staying bullish. This candle in the middle of the range is not the most ideal place to be trading once you have a setup like this, but if I am going to trade it, which I am, I'm at least going to stay on the bullish side, as that is what the trend still at least implies. So going forward tomorrow, if it opens up right where it closed today, a couple things I will actually be looking at is I'm still going to be looking at support here, as it is the 8-period exponential, stop loss just below. This is assuming that it opens exactly where it's at. Second area, 150.65, that's way down there. I'll just mention it on here with 150.65, which is this 21-period exponential moving average. If price comes back down to there, that would be the next level of support I'd be looking at. I don't think it would come all the way back down there, but who knows, it may. Any kind of a gap up, I don't really want to chase it, but if it does break back up over here, I'm already in position to capitalize on that kind of move. So that's just the one trade that I will have mapped out for tomorrow on Apple here, and what I'm looking for going forward. Good luck.